Okay, we'll move on to general business. Number 9.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners. First item up for business under general business is update to the board on the budget status and options for consideration. First of all, I apologize for not getting something of this nature to you
Why is this
earlier
a
than
crisis? It's
anticipated.
not necessarily a crisis, but we need to rebuild our savings account, basically. That's, and in order to rebuild the savings account, we have to either increase revenue, which we can't in the middle of the year unless more prisoners start staying in the jail or people start building again, or we can cut expenses. And that's the only two ways to do it.
Hold on, Randy. Lynn, you had a point.
Yeah, and I think both Mike and Randy have been doing a good job of trying to explain this to the public, and I wanted to just elaborate on what you said. This year, the amount that we predicted that we were going to bring in and what we're spending is a good match this year. And if we had a bunch of money still saved up, we wouldn't need to make any cuts. The problem is, over the last few years, we've drawn down our savings, and we're going to get a bad audit report, not because of our spending or our failure to project revenues, but because we drew down our savings. And so this year we're going to have to cut, again, not because we're doing okay this year, but we've got to make cuts to build up our savings so we won't get in trouble with the auditor. That's kind of the way I see it.
And I want to elaborate on that a little bit. Some of those short, where we had to borrow down from that savings, and I know that bothers people, and it does me too, because I don't like to have to borrow down my savings to make my household income work. But it was because a lot of those revenues were short in the last 2 or 3 years. Sheriff's jailbed revenue, causes unbeknown to him, happened because of the way the federal prisoners work. We came up short money. We had 1 cent sales tax money come up short. We had a lot of other things happen to us. State sharing amounts of money that usually comes into us. Those all count against us in the end. So that's why we are where we are. But again, we're not broke. I want to make sure that's understood. We're not broke in no way. I mean, that's a bad word to use, because we're not broke.
If we have no money, how can we not be broke?
Jerry, I don't know where you keep getting that. Show me where we don't have any money.
He says we have no reserve.
Right now we don't.
We don't have any reserve.
That's where
We have money. You're talking like we're just writing these bad checks.
No.
Yes, you did. You said we're broke. We're not broke. We have adequate revenue to cover the expenses that we've pledged. There's a difference. I mean, when you make that, I mean, that bothers me, because when you make that comment that we're broke, it makes it sound like the sky is falling, and we're not broke. You know, we said we're going to spend $50. We got $50 coming in. We don't have $100, but we got 50, and we're going to break even. Now, I agree. At the end of the year, we want to have another $50 to carry over next year, and that's what he's working on. Tim and I have been fighting about this, because I'm not, you know, he's been making me see the light of the day here at the end of the tunnel, that we got to do something to build up the revenues, and I agree now. And as painful as it's going to be, the only way to do that is cut spending. So we got to do it, and we're going to talk about that here, hopefully in a lively debate here in a few minutes. But don't say that we're broke. We're not.